All right, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a video game that was being made called Front Mission. It was being made in collaboration with Square Enix and Blackjack Studio. Now, apparently, Square Enix is filing a massive lawsuit against Blackjack Studio and accusing them of stealing assets to make its own video game after cutting off the collaboration on a new Front Mission game just a couple of years after development. Nobody quite knows why they stopped working with Blackjack Studio. It's basically a mystery at this point. There's been no official statement between either companies as to why that relationship ended, but now you can clearly see that it didn't really end on a good note, because now Square Enix is suing Blackjack Studio because they're coming out with their own mecha game, and that particular game is reusing assets from the canceled Front Mission game that was being worked on by both developers. So let's get into this article, guys, from Eurogamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So they are seeking, apparently, the takedown of the video game, removal from every single storefront, and about $150,000 in copyright infringement damages for reusing the assets. This is a pretty huge story, and I wanted to cover it. Let's get into it. Final Fantasy publisher Square Enix has launched legal action against the developer it had partnered with to make a new Front Mission game. Front Mission, the company's classic mecha battle franchise, was set to be revived by Blackjack Studio via a new game titled Front Mission 2089 Borderscape. Now, I'm not a Front Mission fan, never have been a Front Mission fan, never played any Front Mission games, so I'm not going to speak on the game itself because I don't have any experience with it, but I am going to speak on the actual pictures that are being shown, the comparison between the two, and how blatantly obvious it is that they are basically stealing the assets from the game that they worked on prior. But after 2 years of development, Square Enix canceled the project in October of 2024 and walked away from Blackjack Studio for reasons unknown. Shortly after, Blackjack Studio announced its own Front Mission style game known as Mecharashi. Square Enix's lawsuit, uncovered by Polygon, claims that Mecharashi uses the work Blackjack Studio undertook for its own project. Indeed, Mecharashi's own Steam page describes the game as the following. Mecharashi is a mecha-themed tactical turn-based game. The game adopts a Front Mission-style combat system, which, number one, probably not the best idea, right? I would probably not want to utilize the game that you were previously working on and the name for that game as a description for what your game is about. That is a bad move, especially when you're about to see pictures showcasing that it's a literal damn near one-to-one copy of each other. I would not want to use their name in any capacity whatsoever. But anyway, let's continue. Where you can assemble mechas however you want, equip a wide selection of weapons, and choose your favorite pilots to engage in battle. Court documents filed by Square Enix includes pages of screenshots comparing the unreleased Front Mission prototype made by Blackjack Studio and the developer's new project. The similarities are obvious. Now, I blew up the picture a little bit so you guys can kind of see the difference here, but here are the comparison photos on the top left, and then you got the top right. Top left, top right. Looks damn near exactly the same. Top left, top right, right? The graphics are probably a little bit better on the one on the right. Left over here in the middle, right over here in the middle. Again, look at the two. Pretty much damn near identical. Actually, the freaking map is identical. Look at the map. It's literally the same thing. Oh, wait. The map is the same thing. Every object in the map is the same object, and it's in the same exact spot as the one on the left. Look at this. Hold on. I didn't even realize this when I was first looking at potentially covering this. Look at this, man. All of this is literally the same. There is no different. This is insane. Oh, I'm sorry. They added another one. They added another one, another forklift over here. I'm sorry. Yeah, that makes it different. My bad. And over here on the left, you got a targeting system and how it looks. And over here, targeting system on the right. Again, pretty much damn near copy one-to-one. So the similarities are there, right? And I think they have a pretty solid case of copyright infringement. But the question is, why would they do this? Why would you even bother doing this? Is this just lazy development? Is this just trying to cost cut, save money? Like, what are we trying to do here? Clearly, you must have known that Square Enix is not going to fuck around when it comes to potential copyright. And I think at this point, they were looking for any reason to get these guys. I don't know what was the reason for them canceling their relationship together, but it's very clear that it didn't end on any positive note. And I guess this studio thought, Blackjack thought they could get away with it and say, screw it, we're just going to make the game that you canceled on us and we're going to make all the money from it. Yeah, that's not going to work, man. Square Enix is definitely not going to let that fly, and they're almost as lawsuit happy as Nintendo. Square Enix is seeking $150,000 in compensation for copyright infringement and an immediate removal of the game's listing from storefronts. In the meantime, Mecharashi has already disappeared and reappeared from Steam as Square Enix and Blackjack Studio squabble over a DMCA notice. Let's check to see if this game is actually on Steam right now. All right, so if you look over here, the game is actually available right now on Steam. It's titled as Coming Soon, and then it says Mecharashi is a mecha-themed tactical turn-based game. It still says the game adopts a front mission-style combat system, so they're still comparing the two. The publisher is now Sugar Fun Game Limited, and obviously the developer is still Blackjack Studio. I'm curious to look at the trailer to see what we got going on here. I've never seen this game before. It's only 56 seconds. Let's take a look at it and see what we got. Here we go. All right, so that was a pretty cool trailer, but it was just a cinematic trailer, no gameplay, no nothing. So there's really nothing for me to get excited about personally. But it does look pretty cool. I've always been a fan of mech games. I love from back in the day Zone of Enders. Zone of Enders has to be one of my favorite games of all time. I've always talked about Zone of Enders. I just have the new copy that was on Steam not that long ago. I finally got that added to my library, and I'm going to check that out in a couple of weeks once I finish up some more video game reviews. But this looks pretty cool. But the simple fact of the matter is, if they truly are stealing assets from a game that they worked on with Square Enix, they're obviously going to be taken down. I don't think it's very crazy for people to not realize that this is going to be taken down by Square Enix. Because like I said, looking at the pictures and the comparison, it is basically a one-to-one comparison. You can change the color here and there. You can add a forklift into an environment here and there that already had one, or removed one. But that's not really going to stop Square Enix from suing you. Now, in terms of the actual forums, if you go here to the forums, you're going to realize that the first comment, the literal first comment that's here in the discussion forums for this particular video game is Square Enix is suing devs over copyright. If you look here and click it, better cash out on your game saves now before the game goes EOS. Hurry. Personally, I want Square Enix to make a new front mission and compete. The inferior remake of FE is no match for them. The number of pre-registered users in China has exceeded 3 million, and the number of pre-registered users in Japan exceeded 1 million. The sales of the package version of FE First Edition were 6,593 copies, and the sales of the package version, which was the FE Second Edition, were 3,182. The lawsuit wasn't mentioned in the Square Enix news in Japan, was it? It doesn't matter. It's definitely happening. Square Enix is 100% suing this company. So I guess we're going to follow the story and see what's going to happen with this particular video game. But as of right now, it doesn't look good for Blackjack, considering that it is a flat-out theft. It really is. And again, I don't make that claim very lightly, because I don't agree with the lawsuit that's happening between Power World and Nintendo, because I genuinely believe that Nintendo is just salty that they didn't think of it first, or they were too lazy to create an online game that was a Pokemon game, which everybody was asking for the longest time. And then somebody made something similar and they slept on it, and then they lost out millions upon millions of dollars. That's not Power World's fault. That's your fault. But this particular game, it's blatantly a ripoff, like blatantly. Every single part of it, for the most part, is a blatant ripoff. So we'll see what ends up happening with Square Enix. But as of right now, time's going to tell with this particular story. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.